Hello, I'm Michael Short from WaaS Pro Plugins, and in this video, I'm going to show you our latest updates and give you a full tour of our plugin Rebrand Control Pro for Elementor. Here we are on our main website, blitzindustries.com, and one of the first things you'll notice at the top where it normally would say Edit with Elementor, we've rebranded it to say Edit with Pro Page Editor. So going forward, everywhere on our version of it, we call it Pro Page Editor. So let's get started. So one of the features that we like most is this preloader image. You can change this to whatever animated GIF that you would like. Also, you can remove it altogether if you don't want it. And then you can also change the loading to say loading Pro Page Editor in our case, or just say loading or not have it at all. It's entirely up to you, and I'll get into where you would change that in just a moment. So here we are on the back end of our website. One of the first things you'll see too is that we changed the name up here from Elementor and named it our own name, Pro Page Editor, and we also changed the branded color to orange instead of that purplish pink that Elementor has. That color is also applied over here to this exit bar, which you can add or remove as you like on the back end. So one of the new features I really want to point out is a cool feature that was requested by a customer of ours to be added. And let me just show you how this works. So when you add a new section and you click on the templates, normally what you will see back here is going to say pages and blocks. That came in and disappeared real fast. And that's what it would actually have normally for pages. You'll see layouts of pages from Elementor, and it'll say Elementor on some of those pages. And so it was asked that we remove those altogether and just only allow for my templates to be shown. So this is an option for you. We also remove the E logo up here next to library. So you no longer have, what we're trying to do obviously is remove any branding from Elementor as well as from WordPress. So I'll show you a few places that, oh, that's kind of cool. I never noticed that. You hover over and he winks. So anyways, we removed a couple places too where it would have the WordPress icon throughout. So let's go ahead and close this. Down here in this exit bar, there used to be a little WordPress icon. We removed that. Also, if we go to the settings page, sorry, not the settings page, you come over here and said dashboard settings, and usually would have a little WordPress icon there, which we had also removed. So those are just a few items. Let's go ahead and get into the back end to show you exactly how it works. So here we are in the back end on our dashboard, and because we labeled it Pro Page Editor and it's no longer Elementor, so this is where it would show up. What you'll probably also notice is our admin is Admin UI Pro. So if you like the way this looks and functions, do know that we are using Admin UI Pro, which I actually will be creating another video for the latest updates on that here shortly as well. So inside the back end of Pro Page Editor, inside the settings, I should say, we have two labels, Rebrand and Control. So they have different functions. So let's start with the Rebrand portion of the plugin. So Rebrand is where we can give the plugin its name. And again, our case is Pro Page Editor. You can give it a description. You can put your agency here with the website URL. So it looks like your your page editor inside of the plugins page. So if your customer goes to their plugins and they see the page editor, it looks like it's yours specific. And here's a few items that we can enable and disable. And I'm just going to read through them real quickly so you can get a sense of what it is and what it can do. So you can hide the Elementor external links. So anywhere we have Elementor external links, you want to get rid of those. That's the purpose of this plugin. You can hide the logo. Again, we want to remove as much of Elementor as possible. You can hide Elementor from the menu. That would just remove this entire thing, which we don't want to do because we want to have access to these things. You can hide the My Templates, which is now called Templates down here, and get rid of that if you don't want your customers to see that anymore or at all. You can hide the settings page. That's everything within this. You can hide, that is not, there's the settings inside of this. We actually have it hidden. There's a hide custom fonts, and you also have hide role manager. You have hide tools. You can hide the system info, hide the knowledge base. All of these things here refer back to Elementor's website, so it's recommended that you hide these things. Hide license page is another one. And then these are the two new features that we recently added, which is hide blocks and hide pages that we saw just a moment ago. That is no longer there. But if you do want to show them, clearly you can enable them so that you can see them. And then the last thing here is the color. So this is that orange that we've selected. You can change whatever color that you want for your brand, and that will be applied to those areas that I mentioned earlier as well. The second tab for the rebrand portion of the plugin will allow you to hide everything of the whole entire plugin. So if you don't want them to see it even in the plugins page, this is where you would do that. And then there's some instruction here at the top that shows you how to bring it back if for some reason you choose to, you want to bring it back. So we like to leave it, but if you want to really hide it, it gives you that option. So let's go to the control portion of the plugin now. And the first tab is going to have two options once it loads here. And this is usually the first tab it goes to. So the first tab, you have two options: accordion's closed and then remove dashboard widget. So accordion's closed is basically the ability to, when you're using Elementor, their accordion's widget will automatically default by keeping all the accordions open. So, I'm sorry, the first tab of it to be open. And so to minimize that, if you have accordions that you just want it to be closed so that it doesn't make your page long, you can just click this and it no longer will leave that first tab open. So that's that one. And then you can also remove the dashboard widget from Elementor, but we don't need to do that. So here we go. The next tab is the Pro Page Editor settings. And the first thing that you can change is the color of the background on, let me get over here and go here. All of this would change here. So you see the gray and the white, that will change. So let's go ahead and change it to dark. You have multiple options. Personally, I like the two options of default or dark. And so this time, for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you dark. You can enable or disable the exit bar. That's going to be this guy down here. You can also dock this anywhere that you'd like. It doesn't have to be next to here or that, but you can also remove it altogether. You can remove elements category titles. That's going to be titles above this. So you'll have basic, you'll have pro if you're using Elementor Pro. And then if you're using third-party plugins for Elementor, they'll also have their own titles above there as well. And so those can be removed. So in my case, I've removed them so that it all flows as one cohesive tool. You can remove the upgrade to Pro nag, which is basically asking you to upgrade to Pro if you don't already have Pro. I recommend removing that so that you are not sending them again to Elementor's pages. You can remove Pro Page Editor stock loader. So that means that preloader image, if you don't want to show it, you just click yes, and it won't show that image when you go to edit a page. But we say no because we are using our own custom editor, custom preloader image, which we'll get to in just a moment. Also, there's two third-party plugins that we actually use for Elementor, which is Ultimate Add-ons for Elementor and Elementor Extras. But what they'll do is add a little UAEL or EE, depending on which widget you're looking at. It will show that it's a third party by putting their little description up in the top, either left or right corner. I'm not certain. But either way, you can remove those, in which we have done by clicking on this. You can remove the advanced tab. That's going to be this guy over here. When you click on an item, this advanced tab can go away if you don't want your customers to have access to more things to mess up their site on, or potentially mess their site up with. You can also remove the global tab, which is this over here. Get rid of this altogether so they can't have access to this. You can remove the custom CSS section from the advanced tab. Now, once we select here and go to the advanced tab, that's down here. So this may confuse your customers if they're not tech savvy, but also it just keeps them from making, again, more errors and creating issues for yourself and more support tickets. So you can remove that. You can remove the pop-out update options. So sometimes they'll send an update, the one that lets the user save the page as a template. So over here, when you click update, it has this pop out over here. You can save as a template. We can remove that if you don't want that. And that's how you would do that there. And you can remove save as template on the right click of an element. So if you right click an element, it'll say save as template usually. I think we removed it. Save as template on the right click menu of element. You can remove. Okay. Well, I thought that would be right here. Let's see. Save. Oh, up here maybe. Save as template. That's sorry. So this is section element. You can save as a template, and you can remove that from that list there. Sorry for that confusion. You also have remove page settings at the bottom of Elementor editor. So you can pull out the page settings altogether. Bottom left, that's this guy down here. You can get rid of that so they don't have access to any of this information. You can also add your own builder name. So this is where that preloader, underneath the preloader, you can change it to whatever you want. Let's go ahead and put this one in there so you can see when we go to update the changes that we've just made. It'll now say loading pro page builder. And actually, I want to say editor. I don't want to say builder. So let's go editor. There we go. And then this is where you would put your preloader image if you want to replace the original one. You can add your own header to the panel of Pro Page Editor. So this here is where you would label this up at the top when you're on the home page. It says Pro Page Editor. And then you have your exit points, and you get multiple options for that. So you can edit screen, you can pages list. There's different options of where your exit point is going to go, and your exit target is going to be in a new tab or same tab and window. And then what are you going to name those? So these 4 elements here are related to this docking down here. So if you're showing this, you have a few options for that. So now that we made a few changes to our settings, let's go ahead and click Save. And I'm going to show you what these changes look like on the front end. So now we're back at the front end. I'm going to do a hard refresh, and let's take a look. So the first thing you'll notice, we changed Loading Pro Page Editor here to where it used to say Loading. And the other item that we changed is we made it the dark theme. So those were the 2 items that we changed. Once this loads, you'll see a full color. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. And it's taken on, when you hover over, it takes on the orange from this color selection. So it gives you a really nice, cool look, dark look. And it's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me at Michael Short on Facebook. If you're not a part of the WaaS Pro Developer Network, please join us. Do a search for groups for WaaS Pro Developer Network. We'd love to have you, and we look forward to helping you out. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.